This is FinTech Futures at Sibos, and I'm joined by Manish Maakan, CEO of iGTB. Manish, thank you so much for taking the time out.
Pleasure to be here.
Excellent. Well, I mean, just to get started, let's do a quick introduction to yourself and the company then.
Hi, my name is Manish Maakan, and I'm CEO for Intellect Global Transaction Banking Division. We focused on providing solutions to commercial and corporate banking to solve their transaction banking needs. And we've been in this business for the last 30 years, and we currently have about 105 customers leveraging our infrastructure and technology across the world.
Excellent. Well, thank you again so much for taking the time out to speak with us. So, I mean, iGTB says its mission is the consumerisation of commercial banking. Can you tell us a bit more about the core tenets then of that philosophy?
So if you look at the effect of consumerization, each one of us as a retail consumer have always had that instant gratification on anything we wanted to do. There's a sense of immediacy in what we want to do. We get experiences as connected user journeys. These are things not available to a corporate or a commercial bank from that users of corporate and commercial bank. The user journeys are disjointed. We live in a world which is T+1. There's real-time payments, which is just really coming in. It's still not available on of that. As we looked at these challenges in the marketplace with islands of data, and now data becoming so prominent, but it was distributed in islands of data. That's where we came up with this theme and purpose for consumerization of commercial banking. What retail banking was getting, why is commercial banking, corporate banking customers not getting that same capabilities? So we looked at this and we looked at the technology aspects of it, and we said what is required. It's the composability of the solution, it's the contextuality and hyperscale and secure solutions. So we married the two aspects of it, and that's where we've invested on a cloud native platform. And we defined the technology architecture blueprint for it, which lives the principles of what we call an EMAC.ai, which is an event-driven infrastructure, which is microservices API first, cloud native, headless, and has embedded AI. With that as a foundation, we started this journey on consumerization of commercial banking. We're seeing a very good, strong acceptance from the corporate world on this, and we're also seeing good industry analysts talk about it, that these are the needs. So we find it's a right marriage in the right direction.
Excellent. I mean, you've touched on a few things there, but how would you say commercial banking has evolved then over the last few years?
I think if you look at the transaction volume on commercial banking is continuing to grow. The payments volumes across markets are consistently growing, which is creating its own challenges and needs from each of the customer. So that's the area we are focused on helping the banks to work upon.
Excellent, excellent. And what kind of challenges do you think banks face at the moment when it comes to meeting shifting consumer demands, especially when it comes to new technologies coming out all the time and new competitors?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's like I spoke of disjointed user journeys and disjointed islands of data. You're not able to guarantee an experience to a customer. Plus, once you've got so much data over there, you're not able to get insights of that. And that's where we right now currently investing on. We've launched iGTB Copilot along with Microsoft, which looks at all the data insights and helps each of the role holders of whoever is in the transaction banking to get assisted user journeys, and they're able to deliver better from that perspective.
Excellent. And how should banks be looking to adapt their strategies, and what technologies should they be looking into when it comes to this to keep up really?
I think, like I said, the base religion I want to almost say for technology is first look at the architecture blueprint. Does your architecture blueprint comply to an events-driven microservices first, API first, cloud native, headless architecture? And have you designed for an embedded AI infrastructure on this? You've got the architecture right. The technologies can come in, the new ones will come in. Adapting, then you will look at technologies which adapt to these architectures and you go on. That keeps the longevity of your investments, what you are making in. So that's where we've invested first on the architecture, then on technology, and now currently on embedded AI in the whole space to help the banks do better on this corporate commercial banking space.
I mean, just off the back of that as well, I mean, what are the key services that you think banks should be offering then to make sure that they remain competitive in this environment?
See, leveraging data insights at every level, it's about islands of data. How do you get in meaningful insights out of it? And that's how the experience and connected user journey, that's how the end corporate consumer experiences can improve. Look at the large global banks from one aspect of it. They're all focused on their home domestic market. It's got a lot of I don't want to use maybe a legacy infrastructure. It's been an infrastructure which has been built over years. Keeping it's very expensive to keep up to date to that, and throwing it away is also not an easy option. I'm seeing a very interesting pattern where large banks are back to saying, in the emerging markets, that's an opportunity for us to put new technology in. Typically, you never get a chance to support those as your global reach is expanding because your domestic market takes over. So we're winning a lot of mandates where the global banks first are going to the international market, then they come close to the home market, and then they bring the infrastructure close to the home market. That's a solution which is less expensive, gives you opportunity to try, adapt new technologies, take the fear out of it, scale it up, and bring it to home market. Now that's a winning trick right now I'm seeing in a lot of banks.
Excellent, excellent. And just to quickly finish off, I mean, you mentioned the EMAC AR offering as well earlier. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And have you got anything else in the pipeline as well at iGTB?
No, so that's the architecture blueprint we are building. Everything what we do is built on top of it. And this also offers a capability for banks to actually what we call create signature solutions. It's the composability, the architecture offers you the composability. I've got investments in these 4 blocks which are working very well. These 2 blocks are incremental what I have required. EMAC.ai helps you to add those 2 blocks into the architecture and then extend these out to do any other things. So that's from an architecture helps you win always and keeps your investments longevity higher.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with me, Manish. It's been
No,
a pleasure.
pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.